Welcome back to Rüniverse. I'm Andrew, and in this special video, I'm just going to be doing a single pack opening for this Wrath of Kors booster that I've just had sitting around for way too long. So let's get the scissors and see what's inside. Wrath of Kors is one of the pretty well-known homemade trading card games. I've had this pack sitting around for over a year, and they've recently started doing some community art insertions into their game where they're doing new artwork inspired by art from other games. It's got a really cool hand-drawn, kind of a colored pencil style. So you can see that extends all the way to card backs. And of course, as we flip this over, if you're not familiar with Wrath of Kors, you're going to see that style extend through the whole game. And we're going to start off, actually, this is a glare variant. So they have glare cards that look different from the normal ones, and we get to start off with that. This is an uncommon, it looks like, called Delirious Mage. And she says, when a player discards a card, they lose 200 HP. So that seems like a cool combo if you can make your opponent discard some cards. And it costs 4. I forget the name of their resources, but it's going to cost 2 blue and then 2 white. And so it depends on what terrains you have. And then when you attack, you roll to see what the effect of your attack is. And on a 5 to 6, she actually has a special ability to return action or response card from your consumed pile to your hand, and then you discard a card. So it's pretty cool. I hope your opponent doesn't have their own Delirious Mage, because then you're going to have to lose 200 HP. Here's the uncommon Vortex. That's a really cool looking design here. It looks like the smoke from this house, the chimney's getting sucked up along with all kind of bursting energy from the spiraling cloud, and it destroys an enemy wonder. And if they don't have one, then they just discard a card, which the Delirious Mage was certainly like that. And this costs 3 different colors, though. That's going to be a little tricky: yellow, green, and blue. Rolling Fire, we got the same kind of spirally shape, but this time it's in the form of fire. And it just does 300 direct damage to the enemy core, which is basically their health as far as I can recall. And this is actually a creature, not a spell. So this is a death effect. So that's kind of cool. I thought this was like a spell based on the art, but this is actually a creature or a unit. The Grindstone. Back to this guy, huh? Common, back to the Grindstone. Each player can only have 1, and any weapons you have in play give an extra 100 attack. Not bad. Flame Blade, Speak of the Devil. Speaking of weapons, this gives plus 100, plus 200 if you have a Grindstone, and the equipped unit, if it's red, gets 200 instead. So that'd be 300 if we got both these on a red thing. Although this Flame Blade is pretty expensive to play, it seems, unless I'm misinterpreting. That looks like a lot of resources to be able to play this Flame Blade. But it is a common. Underground Monster. That's kind of creepy. Kind of looks like just a normal street. I'm afraid I'm going to walk by that and just have a sewer grate with hands coming out. But that will destroy a non-human unit that costs 2 or less. Oh no, if it's destroyed, you can play a non-human. It doesn't destroy something else. So if this is destroyed, it lets you play a non-human unit with the play cost of 2 or less from your hand for free. So there's something hidden under there, and if you destroy this sewer grate, you're going to find out what it is. And here's a rare Havoc Elemental. That's really cool. This electricity effect destroys any one relic or weapon in play when it enters. On a 3, it hits and deals 100 damage to the enemy core. And on a 4, it hits and gets plus 100 attack and 100 health this battle. And on 5 to 6, all your white units gets a plus 100 attack. So that is big stuff going on here. 600 for 5 resources. Yeah, that's a pretty cool. Kind of looks like a bug, but I think it's just like this hunched over gremlin electric shape. It actually looks pretty pleased with itself, given its destructive behavior. We've got the uncommon Lonely Streets of Haran. So long as you have no units on the stack, and the stack is directly adjacent to this, any black or red unit placed on this terrain costs 2 elements less to put into play. Okay, so you kind of want to play a solo lane here. Onto a particular. So the way this game works, you're gonna have different. They're not really lanes, but you have different terrains. Each terrain can have a stack of cards on it, and that can contain a unit. But this kind of wants you to have a little lonely area of the field, and it rewards you by having a cheaper cost. Storm Spider looks like the same family as the Havoc Elemental. It's the electric spider this time, and it just enters and deals 300 damage to a unit in play. So that's kind of. Oh, and this is a big old spider too. Look at that little barn there, and this little house. The chimney. It's probably the same one from the Vortex. The Endeavoring Axeman. Looks like a pretty basic common dude here. Costs some amount. I don't know if that's 3 or I see some empty diamonds. I don't know. Some of them have nothing. Some of them have... I'm not sure how much he costs, but he at least 3 of it is colored here, and he's got a pretty basic attack line. Desert Death Petal. So that's a spooky little flower spraying some poison, I assume. It's going to deal 300 damage to a unit in battle if it dies. So you can block with this, and then whatever it blocked is you can shoot that thing for some poison damage. Magmatic Crylisian. So it's kind of flying up, coming out of the lava, it looks like. Went for a casual swim, highly aggressive and very short-tempered. If this unit is placed on red terrain, that gives plus 100 attack. Oh, and another rare. We got a Testicore. So this is a core card. Okay. So I would give 5,000 HP. Swings like a pendulum in the cold winds of hell. Your opponent discards 2 cards unless they discard a terrain card. I'm actually not sure. I'm not familiar enough with the game to know exactly how these abilities work. But it looks like this is a core, so I guess I would build my deck around playing with the Testicore. I assume if I'm playing red, but it doesn't seem necessary that I have to play red. So never mind about the red thing. Actually, looks like whenever a player draws a card, I can charge this, and then maybe I spend 5 charges to make my opponent discard 2 unless they discard a terrain. So it's kind of an incrementally approach the game. I'm going to be making my opponent lose some cards. Here's a special terrain, the Cliffs of Haran. Green units on this terrain get plus 100 HP and cannot be targeted by enemy wonder effects. So it's kind of a nice calm place to hang out. The Witch's Rose is a flower before it starts spewing poison out. Who knows what curses and dark magics linger within it. When the units on this stack dies, your opponent must discard a card, lose 200 HP, and then you must destroy this relic. Okay, so it's kind of this here, and your opponent gets to see if they break the glass, something bad's going to happen. Another elemental. I really like these elementals, the fire, the electricity. Elementals are always one of my favorite genres of monster here. Its blast sends shockwaves across faraway lands. And when it's placed on a volcano terrain, it gains an additional 100 attack. So I'd bring it up to 600, which is pretty big. And if you roll a 6 on its attack, it's going to do 200 damage to a non-red unit. So that's pretty solid. There's another cool elemental with a big menacing grin. They're more of a menace when the volcano erupts. I can imagine that's the case. And if this unit's played on a volcano, burrow it. I'll have to look up what burrowing is, but it's got a pretty basic attack line, 1 to 2 miss, and actually not a basic attack line, 3 through 6 is a hit. That's a 2/3 chance to hit, which is pretty rare for this game. So this is a pretty consistent little 300-200 guy. And finally, we've got City Celebrations, draw 2 cards, and you got those cool fireworks to be able to draw 2 cards. Pretty straightforward, and it seems pretty solid. Thanks for checking out this Wrath of Kors homemade TCG pack opening. If you're not familiar with their channel, go check them out. There'll be a link in the description. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe now so we can get more subscribers. Thanks for watching, and bye.